In this video, you're going to learn how to play Dylan Gossett's To Be Free. It's in standard tuning with a capo on the 3rd fret, and he uses some pretty basic chords with a nice little picking pattern at the beginning and the end. If you're not comfortable doing that, there's the strummed version that I'm going to show you as well. So get your guitar tuned, get your capo on, and let's get started. We're going to get started with the intro and the first part of the verse. Chords we're going to be using are C, that's 3rd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, 1st fret B, B over G, 2nd fret A, open D, open G, 1st fret B, A minor 7, you can also do an A minor for this one, but it's going to be open A, 2nd fret D, open G, 1st fret B, G, or a variation of, I think it's a G6, but it's just the 3rd fret of the low E, and then everything else is open. And last chord is going to be an F major, 1st fret E, 3rd fret A and D, 2nd fret G, 1st fret B, and high E string. If you have trouble with bar chords, I'll show you another version of this that makes it a little bit easier. So the picking pattern is going to be root note of whatever chord we're on, and then we're going to go D, G. For the C chord, it's going to be the 3rd fret of the A, and then we go D, G. Walk down to a B over G, so again 2nd fret A string, and you're going to have the D and G string open, B stays the same. We're going to go A, D, B. Then we're going to switch to the A minor 7, so that's open A, 2nd fret D, open G, 1st fret B, same thing, A, D, B. Next chord is going to be that G, 3rd fret low E, the rest is open. You're going to go E, D, B. So again, we're just walking down the chords here. Then we're going to switch to an F major bar chord. We're going to go E, D, B, but now we're going to go back to D and back to E and one more time to D. So we're walking up and then back down. One more time. Play it a little bit slower. Now a lot of people have trouble with bar chords, me included, so a variation you can play instead of doing the full bar on the 1st fret. You can use your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A, pinky on the 3rd fret of the D, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and index finger on the 1st fret of the B. So now your root note actually becomes that 3rd fret of the A string. If you can, with that same shape, use your thumb on the 1st fret of the low E. You can also get that root note without having to bar everything. So that's with the root note, or if you can't do that and this is more comfortable, just use your root note on that 3rd fret of the A string. It's still going to sound good. So that's how you play the intro and the first part of the verse. So that's where he's saying, smells like weed and gasoline, yeah, the kids are killing trees and killing. That's that first part. The next part on the verse, you're going to pick out in this order. It's going to go A minor 7, G, and then F. So we're going to use a similar picking pattern. It's still going to go root note on that A minor. So A, D, B. But instead of walking up and down to the next chord right after that, you're going to go back to D, back to A, and then end on D. So again, it's like we picked that F chord in the first part. Now we're going to do something similar with G. You're going to do 3rd fret low E, D is open, B is open, back to D. And this time, instead of going back to that 3rd fret of the G string, we're going to do an open E. So it's going to go. And that leads into the F chord. So on the F chord, we're going to play E, D, B, D, E, D, E. So all together. So that's how you play the intro and the first verse. The next verse I'm going to show you after this chorus is going to be strummed. So if you want to skip to that part, feel free to do so. I'll put the time code right about there. Alright, so the first chorus is picked out as well, just with a different progression and a slightly different picking pattern. It's going to sound like this for the first part. 'Cause it's alright till you lose your mind, so save your time while it's cheap. So the first chord we're going to use is going to be a G, that's 3rd fret low E, and this time we're going to use the 3rd fret of the B string. Rest are open. So you're going to pick, again, root note, D, B, and then we're going to go G, D, G. We're going to do that twice. Now we're going to switch to the A minor 7. So that's going to be open A, 2nd fret D, open G, 1st fret B. And we're going to do a similar picking pattern starting with the root note of the open A. So A, D, B, and then G, D, G. Also twice. So from G to A minor 7. Next we're going to switch to an F major, and again you can do the bar chord with the root note on the 1st fret, so you can do that wraparound where you have the thumb fretting down that 1st fret of the low E string, or without, and just use the 3rd fret of the A string as your bass note. But we're going to go root note, D, B, G, D, G. Again twice. And then we're going to switch over to C, 3rd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, 1st fret B. Now the C chord is picked a little bit differently. We're going to go all the way A, D, G, B, and then G, D, G. So before we were skipping that 3rd note, but for C, A, D, G, B, G, D, G. And then the second time we play the C, we're going to go A, D, G, B, but we're going to do a pull off from the 1st fret to an open B. And then we're going to go G, D. So from F to C. So that first portion all together. 'Cause it's alright till you lose your mind, so save your time while it's cheap. Now the second part of the chorus is going to use a G6 chord instead of a G, and all that is a 3rd fret of the low E string. The rest are going to be open, A minor 7, and then we're going to end on an F major chord. And it's going to sound like this. The sun is bright and the breeze is kind. You've got what it takes to be free. And then we do some strums on a C, but I'll show you that in a second. So for that G6, our root note is going to be the 3rd fret of the low E. And we're going to go E, D, B, G, D, G, just like we did before. 2 times. And for the A minor, we're going to play it the same way. So again, root note, open A, D, B, G, D, G. But the second time, we're not going to end on that last G. We're just going to do A, D, B, G, D. And then we're going to switch to the F major chord. And that just gets one down strum. So for A minor 7. The sun is bright and the breeze is kind. You've got what it takes to be free. Now when he says you've got what it takes to be free, we switch to the C chord and then do some strums. It's going to be C, 3rd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, 1st fret B, and open high E. And the strumming pattern is going to be down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, all the way through, and pretty much for the rest of the song that we strum. mentioned at the beginning of the video that if you can't do the picking version, there's always the strum version. That's what I'm going to show you now. So the second verse, you start strumming out chords instead of doing the picking pattern. And the chords for the first part of the verse are going to be C, F, A minor or A minor 7, G6, and then back to F. And the strumming pattern for each of these chords is going to be down, down, up, down, up. So starting with that C, we're going to play the C twice, switch to F, and then we're going to switch to the A minor or A minor 7. I prefer the A minor. And this one is only going to get one of those strumming patterns. Down, down, up, up. And then we're going to switch to the G6, which also gets one of those strumming patterns. And then we go back to F, and we do it twice again. This time with the words. Cardboard houses are up for sale. The grass is green and the flowers smell. Don't you dare be quiet. Let me hear you yell. We're going to play the second part exactly the same way. Let's build a staircase to the stars. Take a trip around Mars. We can't get there if we never start. Now the chorus is going to get the same treatment. We're going to strum out the chords. This time we're going to do G, A minor 7 or A minor, F, and then C. We're going to do each of these chords 2 times with the same strumming pattern of down, down, up, down, up. The G I'm using is 3rd fret low E, 2nd fret A, and then 3rd fret of high E. The rest are open. And again, we're going to go down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And then we're going to switch. In this part, I like to do the A minor 7th, but you can also do the A minor. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Switch to the F. And for those of you that can't do the bar chord, there's this version. And then C. 'Cause it's alright till you lose your mind. So save your time while it's cheap. For the next part, we're going to use G, the same G we did before, 2 times with that strumming pattern. Switch to A minor 7. And then we're going to switch to an F and do 1 down strum and let it ring out. The sun is bright and the breeze is kind. You've got what it takes to be free. And then he does a strumming pattern back into the C. So at the end of the second chorus, before getting into the bridge, he does 1 chord transition instead of doing all C's. So it's still going to be the C chord. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. 3 times. But then you're going to do the B over G. And that's just the 2nd fret. If you didn't know, I had my dog with me. Almost fell out of my chair. And that's 2nd fret of the A string, open D, G, 1st fret B. So it's going to go C 3 times. And then B over G. And then that leads into the bridge. Now the chord progression for the first part of the bridge is going to be A minor, F, C, and then we're going to end again on the B over G on that transition chord into the second part of the bridge. Now the strumming pattern is still going to be down, down, up, and you can do A minor and F 2 times. C gets 3, and then the last chord, the G over B, is going to get 1 of those strumming patterns. So it's going to sound like this. Well, I still recall what you said with every inch of your breath. Forget about the noise and let's run until we're dead. And then it goes to the next part. The next part is going to be A minor again 2 times. But then we're going to go F and just do 1 down strum, followed by a C, 1 down strum, and then finally ending on a G6, 1 down strum. And we won't fall for second best till we've been to all the rest. Who knows where we will be or what will grace our silhouettes. From here, he plays that first part of the bridge 2 times before leading into the last chorus. So, same chord progression, A minor, F, and then C 3 times to G over B. And then he plays that progression 1 more time before going into the final chorus. After that, all you've got left is the outro, which you learned at the very beginning of the video. Alright guys, that does it for this lesson. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You can also check out my tabs. I'll do the link in the description so you can check them out. Here's my dog. Hey Colt. Colt.